is Kristen Morris. She is from Texas, and I'm really happy to meet you. I've corresponded with her for quite some time on Facebook, and I'm going to let her take it over, and you are more than welcome to tell them everything.
I also hate talking in front of people, so I'll try to get through this. Caroline was born in January of '09. She was 3 weeks early, and she weighed 11.3. She was born here in the Metroplex, and we stayed at the hospital for a week, and they ran every test imaginable. The only reason that her blood sugar was checked at birth was, one, she was so big, and two, she wasn't breathing when she was born. So they took her to the NICU and ran everything. Trying to think where to go from there. When she was a week old, all their tests had come back. They had no clue what to do. They were at a loss. So they sent us to Cook Children's, and we were actually supposed to go to Medical City. And when they called the endocrinologist there, she told us that if it was her child, she would go to Dr. Thornton. So we went to Cook's, and that was the best thing we could have done. I honestly believe that without Dr. Thornton, I would not have my child, because no one else knew what to do with her. He knew when he saw her. He said he was 99% sure that that's what she had. I ended up having to get her father to come in for genetic testing. When he came in, that's when he disclosed that he also had it, but that's a whole other story. But they were getting ready to send us to CHOP, and by knowing that he had it and that he had diffuse, they knew what to do for her. So when she was 3 weeks old, she had 95% of her pancreas removed, and about 2 weeks later, they went back in, because I was so against the G button. We were not going home with one of those. She didn't need it. She was taking a bottle when we got there, and by God, she was going to take one when we left. Well, that didn't happen that way. They were going to do a fundo on her, and Dr. Thornton stopped them as they were going into the OR and said, absolutely not. I guess to all of y'all know what the fundo is. Probably someone else can explain it better than me.
Yes, our son has it.
Okay, I'll let her explain that.
It's where they wrap like the top part of the esophagus around the bottom part of the esophagus around the top part of the stomach to kind of just tighten it up to make it to where food can still go down, but it's a lot harder for it to go back up. So they can't throw up, they can't burp, so it's been I almost wish that we wouldn't have done it now, because he can't throw up, which is good because his sugars of course would drop as soon as he would throw up, but now he can't burp, so he can't get that air out, so we're constantly having to vent him through his G-tube, constantly, because he can't burp, so.
Well, and they were constantly telling me that she had reflux, and I continued to argue with them, and that's why they were wanting to do the fundo. And once I got them to turn, feed her less and give her less sugar overnight and everything, she stopped throwing up. So always, always follow your gut. But he stopped them from doing the fundo because he explained to me that it causes the stomach to dump faster, and in turn causes the body to produce more insulin and cause more lows. So we did not do the fundo. From there, we were at Louisville for a week, and we were at Cook's for 9 weeks. Trying to think where we went from there. Now they tried the diazoxide, and it did not work for her. So they did the surgery, and now she still has her G button, and she's on 20% dextrose at night from 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. And she gets 2 injections of octreotide every day, and we check sugar every 3 hours. So something else.
She goes high also?
Yes. We have highs and we have lows. And
how high does she go?
I've seen her at 17 and I've seen her at 451. So she's just kind of all over the place. It's really hard right now because she is so active. So what works one day may not work the next. So,
does she still follow up with Dr. Gordon?
yes. We will always. I mean, I truly, and I tell him this all the time, without him she wouldn't be here. So, but just that fear of not knowing what's wrong with your child and them telling you to prepare for the worst because they're not going to make it, and feeling so alone in that. So we definitely went through that. But you can tell it really slows her down. But do you have any questions?
You're doing a good job with her.
What?
You're doing a good job with her.
Oh, thank you. I am a single mom and I've had her by myself since day one. With the exception of Roxy, this is our home health nurse, and she's been with us since she was 5 months old, and that's her rah-rah. So.